Hi and welcome back to Aasai Rasai. I'm getting ready to make a watalappam with fresh milk and fresh cream and I'm going to steam it. I usually bake my watalappam. This is the first time that I'm going to try and steam it. But I have added water in this pan, and as you can see, the water is below the steamer, not above the steamer. You would also need a bowl that will stand up to about 2 or 2.5 hours of steaming. It has to be heat proof. I'm using this stainless steel bowl. This is Palmyra or Kithul jaggery that I got from Sri Lanka. If it's pure Kithul, you'll be able to do this. You'll be able to grate it with a knife pretty easily. But if you're using sugarcane or adulterated Kithul jaggery, it's not going to be that easy. You'll need to put in a little extra effort. So in that case, what I recommend is to microwave all the jaggery in a bowl to liquefy it, and then it's much easier to dissolve in the mixture. But you definitely need to grate it if it's semi-solid like this, and make sure that there are no chunks. The next step is to dissolve the jaggery in the liquid. So I am not going to dissolve it by hand. Instead, I'm using my blender. So put everything except the fresh cream in your blender. And the reason why I'm not adding the fresh cream at this point is that I don't want to overbeat the fresh cream and change the texture of the watalappam. If you have grated your jaggery really nicely or melted it in the microwave, you don't need to blend it too much, just enough so that all the ingredients are combined and the eggs are beaten well. It should be a smooth mixture without any pieces in it. These are some ground cardamom seeds. I bought the cardamom seeds from the store and I grind it in my mortar and pestle just before I knead it, so that way it gives so much more flavor. I also have some store-bought ground nutmeg. If you have the whole nutmeg, just make sure that you finely grate it before you add it into the mixture. And nutmeg helps to remove that egg smell in the watalappam. Be generous when you're adding your spices, because that's what makes the watalappam really taste nice and rich. Especially the store-bought ground spices tend to be a little dull in flavor, so you would need to add a little more. This is pumpkin pie spice. I don't have clove powder, but the pumpkin spice has enough clove powder, so I'm using that. Another good substitute is allspice. This is the fresh cream or heavy cream that I'm using. It's called fresh cream in some countries, but here in North America we call it heavy cream. And I'm using the one that has the full fat content, because if this watalappam were to be made with coconut milk, it would have all the fat. Now I'm going to blend this mixture and I'll be right back. And here it is when it's blended. You can see it's nice and smooth. It's slightly thick as well because of the eggs. You could also strain this mixture if you feel that your jaggery may have impurities in it. Sometimes it can be a little sandy, and that's fine. You could just pass it through a fine mesh strainer and get all that out. This is my heavy cream. I'm adding 4 ounces, but if I want to increase the quantity of watalappam, then I can go up to 6 ounces. It's richer as well, but I think I'm happy with the 4 ounces. If by any chance you add more than 4 ounces or more than 6 ounces of heavy cream or too much milk, just add a couple more eggs so that the watalappam becomes firm and it's not too soft. The color of your jaggery would be the color of your watalappam. If you want a darker watalappam, then choose a darker colored jaggery. Now this is ready to go into the steamer. I'm using aluminium foil. If you don't have aluminium foil, you could also use brown paper, wax paper, or oil paper, and then tie a string around the bowl to seal it so that the steam doesn't escape. And that's exactly what I'm doing right now. Just go around the edge and crimp the edge like this of the aluminium against the bowl, so that creates a very tight seal. And if you're using brown paper, wax paper, or oil paper to cover the bowl, you would need about 2 to 3 layers of paper. Now gently place the bowl in the steamer, but make sure that the steamer has not been turned on when you do this. Whenever you have to open the pan to put more water in or check on the watalappam, just make sure that the steam has settled a little bit before you touch or put your hand close to it, because steam burns really badly. Now even though the watalappam itself has been covered and sealed tight with the paper or the foil, you would still need to have a lid on the pan as well. Right throughout steaming, you're only going to be using medium heat. So don't try to adjust it or rush this, because that's going to change the texture. It's been about 20 minutes since I turned on the heat, so I'm going to add some water now. Apart from directly checking the water level in your pan, you can also know when there's like not enough steam. You would know that the water level has reduced and you need to put more water. So I'm using regular tap water, just cold tap water, and that's going to boil again and start to make a lot of steam. I took a peek into my Watalappam. I couldn't wait to see how it's doing. So let me just show you. It's been about an hour and 10 minutes now. And the little white patch there, that's because of the steam getting into the Watalappam. And that's an easy fix. I'm going to change this foil now that I ripped it. I'm going to have to change it, and then once I put a new one, that white, all the white patches from the condensation, that's going to become an even color again. This is after 2 hours and 10 minutes of total cook time. I cannot wait to see what my Watalappam looks like now. And I'm trying to be brave and yank out the foil here, but it's really hot. I don't recommend doing this at all. It's better to use a knife or some kind of tool to lift the foil. You could tell a lot of time has passed because of the direct sunshine on my stove top. Look at that, it's a beautiful Watalappam. The edges are nicely brown and it comes off the pan as well when it's well done. If you want to top this with some cashew nuts, you could do it now, like what I'm going to do, and then cover it and let it sit in the existing heat for about 20 minutes until the cashews have a chance to steam. But don't turn on the heat again, just use whatever heat that's in the pot itself. If you want the cashews to be set in the Watalappam itself, then you would need to go in about 1.5 hours or 1 hour 45 minutes into the steaming time, and then place the cashews, cover the pan again, and continue steaming for the rest of the time until the Watalappam has set. But I didn't want to open the pan again midway, so I thought I will do it now, and this works for me very well. But if you're a perfectionist and you want to do it the right way, then you can do it the way I described earlier. If you don't have raw cashew, you could definitely use any type of unsalted cashew that you can buy from the store. If you don't have cashew nuts, try almonds or pistachios. They should work as well, but traditionally it's the cashew nuts that we use. The foil is still hot and there's steam coming out from everywhere. So when you're doing this, just be sure that you don't burn your hands, and make sure that the foil is placed just enough to cover the Watalappam so that there's no water or condensation dripping onto your Watalappam. After 20 minutes, the steam had completely settled from the pan and I was able to take the bowl out safely. And here's what it looks like, the final product. You see it is still jiggly, that means it's really, really hot still. And this is it in natural light right by my window. The color is really rich as well, and I'll show you with the spoon. When I press the edges, you could see the juices coming out, and the edge is also coming off the bowl, which tells me that the Watalappam is perfectly steamed. You can turn this over onto a serving platter if you want, but I'm serving it out of this bowl, which is why my nuts are layered on the top. As with any Watalappam, whether it's made with coconut milk or dairy milk, you would want to make it the day before because it tastes best the next day. And all this jiggliness is going to firm up when it has completely cooled and chilled in the refrigerator. Always store the Watalappam in the fridge. And I have uploaded the coconut milk Watalappam recipe as well. The link is at the end of this video. Until I come back with another recipe, I hope you will give this a try and check out all my videos on Aasai Rasai. Thanks for watching.